This is Thomas Merrick, and this is a special bonus episode of Megamek with Marlowe's Stingrays. Wanted to cover a couple things. One of them is actually going to be very relevant before I actually start the next battle. But before I get into that, I do have my notes here of all the things I want to cover. And yeah, let's get a little bit of a meta here and do some video recording of a previous video record. This is the end of the last fight we just did with the Czech BV and so forth, and all this various things. So first thing I wanted to touch on is the combat computer. Now I remember, I understood that this is a quirk. What was confusing me was how it was being applied. Even so, Matthew Waddell sent me a link, which I'll put in the description here, of basically a rundown of the different quirks for Mech Warrior. And if we can look here, combat computer, yeah, here it is. Advanced computer that installed in the Stalker. Computer can aid the Mech Warrior or pilot managing heat levels. Each turn it will generate 4 points of heat less than normal, but never less than 0. So that's what that is. But I really want to point out that this is very useful, just as a quick reference, because normally if I see a in the descriptions of the mechs as I'm looking in Mech HQ, I'll see it has this quirk. And I might be able to guess what it does, but for actual details, I would have to go into like editing the mech and go find the quirk in the list. This way I can just pull this up and just have it kind of off to the side, and I can just quick reference it. So I really like it, and I think you guys will like it too. So I'll go ahead and put that in there, and I appreciate it, Matthew, for the link. As to the Stalker thing, what was really confusing me in the video is this is coming after the quick draw. This isn't saying who it's modifying. So I kept reading this as the quick draw was getting this buff, but it was never really showing up in the math. So Wolf 3794, he another one of my commenters, he pointed out that it is the Stalker, and after he said it, I remember the Stalker having that. So that does make more sense. The Stalker, I would have to go back and see the math, but I trust that it was mathing correctly. So that's where the confusion there was coming from. And one other thing, Adam Mac, back when I did the questions video, I was asking for some feedback, and one of the pieces of feedback was company and lance names, and I still would appreciate your ideas here. But he recommended for like different companies having kind of a nautical animal theme, which I really like his suggestion. Stingray Company, Manta Company. He also had a Hammerhead Company, which we don't have a third company right now, but I'll use that. And I was further inspired to the different battalions being named after different oceans. So this is the Pacific Battalion, and if when we get more, the Atlantic or either Indian or Arctic. Atlantic will be the second one. I'm not sure which ocean I'll pick for the third one. And I can't imagine us having 4 battalions. That would be a nightmare. But man, I want to get to regiment size, but it's why does this keep popping up? I probably should read that someday, and I'm not going to do it right now. But anyway, Adam Mack suggested that, and I really appreciated it. He had a couple of suggestions for lance names, and I wasn't quite feeling those, but that's the command lance. So I'm still needing what I'm after is I don't want like attack lance, heavy lance, scout lance. That's very generic. I kind of want something a little bit more personalized. I am thinking about down here this scout lance. I got not that one. Where is he? He's here. Got BA here leading this one. I'm thinking about calling this the A team or something like that. But I just kind of an idea of what I'm looking for, and something I can also replace this little picture with. Just as a real quick reference, I know what lance that is because I recognize the picture and so forth. I'll get some animal pictures for these when I get around to it. I didn't get around to it yet, but let's keep moving here because I want to make this a quick video. Check BV. Yes. Check BV tweak. Always before, and even in this case, I'm always adding the liaison officer and trying to check the BV that way, and it's not quick. I basically have to take time out, go pick up my calculator, do the addition, and then see if the BV is still calculate. Now normally in the rules, reinforcements do not count towards the BV. I usually note this when like the enemy has reinforcements come in. I just ignore them. I just only ever pay attention to the BV of the. I'm gesturing with my hand so you can see it, but only checking the BV of the main opposing force. That's going to hold true for us from now on. I'm not going to do this addition thing, which in this case would have meant I lost a lot longer before you know we actually got to this point, because I was at low 66%. I think a turn or two before this. I think it was the turn before this. So to that end, I also mentioned that infantry do not count towards the BV value. This is still true. So I want to redo the math. I was curious. I went to check the math. So let me pull up Marlowe Stingers here. We're just going to quickly find our. Let's go to a purchase. Oh, where are the infantry at? I should have had this already set up. That's okay. What was it called? Oh, it's not even there anymore. There it is. Mechanized Hover Platoon Rifle. Let's look up a Mechanized Hover Platoon Rifle. Mechanized Hover Platoon Rifle has 68 whole BV points. So let's redo the math, shall we? So initially the math was, just for reference, well, I have to go back. Yeah. Well, that's not the math. That's not correct. I don't know what that is. 3286 plus 617 equals that divided by the total. It's 5925. That gave us this 65%. So let's adjust these numbers for that BV not being there. And the number we're adjusting is actually secondary, because since they were totally destroyed, it's not showing up as the first part anyway. So we need to actually change the total by 68. 68 equals that. Okay, let's throw that in memory. Clear. And let's do the math one more time. Plus equals that, and we're going to divide it by not that number. What in the world number is that? Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, I apparently have to redo to clear the memory. 4988 plus 937 minus 68 equals. All right, yeah. Throw that in memory. Okay, one more time. 4988 plus 937 equals minus 68 equals memory. That is plus, yes. Probably memory save. I think that's what I did. I added a memory instead of saved a memory. Which means I probably could have subtracted from memory. Whatever. It's in memory now. Yes. Okay. Let's try that one more time. 3286 plus 617 equals divided by that gives us a grand total of 0.6663. Nope. So what am I going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to go into here, and I've changed these names. I'll have to rechange them again, but that's okay. We're going to load up the campaign before, and we're going to do it right. I did not win. I didn't do a marginal victory. how I do it manually is we'll find the battle again, go up here to resolve manually. No, and in fact their side didn't control it either. It is a draw. I mean, I'm going to get into that here in just a second. Okay, Marlowe Stingrays, and this is why we save it every single time. Marlowe Stingrays Revenge, I don't know what that is. Okay, so obviously we lost the Hunchback, and I noticed that I tested to see if this would work before I actually recorded this. So I noticed that that's the last time as well. This was listed as gone, and that's correct by the rules. It didn't do that last time, but it is because it was wiped out. And if an infantry unit is wiped out during the battle, it is lost, a total loss. So that is correct. We did not lose the Phoenix Hawk. Now this Draco, he was hurt a lot more than that, and he's MIA. The rest of these, the ones that are not dead, are correctly marked as MIA. Because they were captured. So now normally in a draw scenario, I would say I get my guys back, they get their guys back. However, in this case, because he literally got picked up by the mech that left, I'm considering him captured. And in fact, I was going to do something different for these guys. For the guys that survived, glad I'm talking because it reminded me of stuff. Because it's a draw, I'm going to flip a coin. 1 to 2, they made it back. 3 to 4, they were captured. Just depends on which way they got and who got to them first. Okay, we got them back. I mean, they're... however many are actually left and not completely dead. Okay, and those are all correct. I didn't change any of that. This is a draw. Now, that's where I want to get into this. A draw is a situation like this where at the end of the turn, we both, basically fulfilled our victory conditions, or loss conditions, I guess is another way to put it. But when that happens, it's going to be a draw. Now, as far as like marginal victory, marginal defeat, stat-wise, as far as like contract score and so forth, it doesn't change anything. So it doesn't really matter. However, just for the historical record, we'll just call it. Sometimes we know it was a close victory or a close defeat. But if we feel like it was that close, kind of down to the wire, we'll throw that in. But for the most part, victory defeat is obvious, and a draw is just basically the new thing we're going to deal with. Now, what does this do? What this does is it doesn't change our contract score. We don't gain contract score, we don't lose it. So that's the difference between a draw and like losing, for example. So going forward, that's how we're going to deal with it. So what else was on my notes? And also, obviously, we don't get any of the salvage and so forth that we had last time. And I need to change these names. I remember changing these names back. What else? Math. Intensity. Yes, intensity. Go back into our campaign options. I messed with this right before this battle. The fact that I'm experiencing 2 base attacks, while story-wise is kind of fun, is kind of disturbing me that I really screwed something up here with the intensity. So what I'm going to do is ramp this back just a little bit. So I know I added 5 of it because of a of the events. So I'm pulling that back. Confirm. The other thing I was doing is because of the enemy rating regular. Let me go back here to contract campaign options. Now, this is something I can, I mentioned this back when I did it with like the July Blitz. I can ramp this up really high just for like situational stuff, but let's go back to our base of 1. I think that's the base. how I got to 2. Good grief. I'd have to go back and look. But what I'm going to doing is the enemy's rating was regular. If they're regular, I'm leaving it as the same. If they're green, I'll take it down 1. If they're veteran, up 1, and elite, up 2. But when I do get an event like that, I'm not going to do the 5 because I think that's already factoring in that -5 to the rolls. But I am going to bump it up by 1. So that's how I'm changing the contact intensity rules. The 2 base attacks is absurd. And I still have to do them. And win, because if I don't win, we lose the contract. And you just saw, I didn't draws won't happen, because the losing conditions is they blow up my base. And I'm going to have some special rules for this beyond what's here, which I'll get into when we actually start that battle. That'll be in the next video. But last thing I want to talk about, somebody mentioned, and it didn't occur to me at the time, when I was asking for basically op4s, the PvP and so forth, occasionally pulling you guys in to actually play the opposing forces. Somebody mentioned that's just the thought of joining me against the AI, as some of the other mechs. I thought that was actually a really good idea, and I don't know when I'll do that, but it is basically another option. If you don't necessarily want to fight against me, but want to fight with me, I really need to streamline that process as well. So don't show this. This is why I'm bad at MWO. I click somewhere and it isn't where I want it to be. So anyway, speaking of MWO, I have created a Steam page. Well, this is my profile. First of all, Steam is probably going to be by and large the best way to get a hold of me, or vice versa. If when I'm wanting to set up one of these matches, I'm going to want to set it up kind of on the spot. Maybe a little bit of notice, but like within a day. So first of all, if you guys haven't done it and you're interested in actually playing with me, add me on Steam, and in the message tell me who you are, or at least where you come from. That way I can usually put notes on my friends that who they are and so forth. But other than that, I've also added a Marlowe Stingray Steam group, which I just made. And it's a Steam fans of the YouTube Megamek series featuring Marlowe Stingrays. That is associated. I'll respell that later. MacWarrior Online, So if I added this to the team, I can also put announcements, just general announcements on when stuff like that might be happening. Matches, and you could respond that way as well. But that kind of gets us all together. Anyway, seemed like a good idea at the time. I still think it's a good idea. So, and I think I've got this set as invite only. I don't remember. I've never set one of these up before. I think it's private right now. I think I could technically change it to a group or a public, but I'll deal with that later. So, was that everything on my list? I think so. And as far as when the first fight's going to happen, the base attacks I'm not messing around with. After that, I've actually got some ideas for post or pre-battle mini videos. I like doing those videos, but they take up a lot of time. They really do. They take up hours. It takes longer than you probably think it does, honestly. Part of it's I try to match it up with the music. Part of it's writing the story and trying to keep the story short enough to actually for you to read it in the time I've got it up there, because it's usually 8 to 10 seconds, and then finding some pictures at least appropriate or similar to what I'm what the story is saying, because I'm not an artist. You don't want me drawing those pictures. So by the time I get all that done, depending on the video, it could have been an all-day thing for a 1-minute video. I need to streamline that as well. But I do have some ideas that would actually be pretty quick for pre-battle videos. But we'll get to that, and it'll be after the base attacks, which I'm wanting to get into here pretty soon. I need to hammer out the last of the rules. I'm wanting to record it today. I don't want to wait a month like I did last time I said this. But I am getting ready to record that. Okay, here we go. Do never show that again. Go away. See, I procrastinated long enough. I got something done. never hear that again. Alright. I think that wraps it up. So until next time, crash and burn.